Hello everyone, welcome back to another just video. This is Amit here, and today I'll be showing you all an interesting game played by Robert James Fisher and Spassky. Spassky was playing with the white pieces, and in the previous videos also I have shown you games played by Fisher and Spassky. But in those games, Fisher won both the games, but in this one Spassky playing with the white pieces won the game. So let's begin with the video. So white plays d4, knight f6, c4, c5, the penalty opening. So white pushes on to b5, and after a few opening moves we can see that the position ends up with white having more space in the center, and black gives up the bishop on the c8, and he exchanges it off for a knight, and white captures back. And here you can see that white has strong d3 and the c1 bishop, whereas black has a passive knight on e8, and the knight on d7 is ready to pounce on the e5 square with the g7 beautiful bishop. So eyeing the a1 h8 diagonal, and in here white plays bishop b2, and as I told you earlier, the knight has pounced on the e5 square, and white tries to maintain the double bishop advantage, and he drops his bishop back to the e2 square. So Spassky plays bishop e2, and Fisher plays f5. So in this position, white has space on the king side, and black also has space on the king side, but black's pawns on the d6 is quite backward, you could say. So here black goes knight f7, and here it is said that in close positions knights are much stronger, but here it is actually black knights have no space to go to. Knight cannot go to c7 and do something over there, or knight on f7 can't go to h6 and g4 square, so it is kind of tied up. So black has to give some openings for the knight, and as we proceed with the game we get to know that these knights tend to become useless as we proceed. So here white goes to grab the more space on the king side, and here he plays king g2 and knight c7 and g5. So he is trying to push his king side pawns, and his black's knights are quite passive. So here rook b1 is played, and these are normal moves, opening moves, opening the rooks to the open file. So black has opened his rook to the open file, and here white plays bishop b3, and black goes rook b8, eyeing for b5 break. So white tries to expand on the king side. So a6, queen g2, b5. White has a very solid defensive position, whereas black is yet to give some space for his knights, which might not be happening too soon. And now white is grabbing the open file as well. So captures, and bishop c1. So queen d8 and knight to e2. So knight has a plan of going to g3 and push the pawn to h5, and he may also be having some ideas of pawn takes pawn on the b5 square, which may also be possible. So here black captures the pawn, and now knight goes to e8. So basically the knights on the f7 and e8 are quite passive, and there are no squares for these knights, and they are kind of overwhelmed by the white pieces because the white bishops are quite active, and they have a lot of squares to play for. So here white goes h5 and black goes rook e7, h6. Now closing the dark square bishop, black bishop as well. So he goes to h8, bishop d2, and now white tries to exchange off the rooks. So if white can get this game into the end game position, then white is absolutely having the double bishop advantage, which we see in the game, and we will be able to convert this game to victory. So here black goes queen b8, knight g3, rook b, and he exchanges off the major pieces. Now the game, this end game is quite better for white, and he tries to take advantage. The loophole here is that for black is that the white king can enter via the a file, and sometimes maybe even the knight can capture the f5 pawn, and he may even sacrifice the pawn for an advantage, because the h7, g6 and f5 square are quite weak for black. So he may even have ideas of those. So now bishop b2 is played. Now white maneuvers his king towards the a5 square, and now this black knight on g8 has to keep on guarding the g6 square, because there is a threat of capture on the f5 square. So it is tied up, and now this bishop is actually tying up this knight. So the only piece which is active for black is the knight on the e8, but it doesn't have much role to play with. So king a4, knight c7 and king a5, and now white has successfully got his king into the black's position, and bishop c2. Now all that is left is maneuvering his king to attack the pawns and also his bishop. So here at this point position, black is simply trying to evade the loss by playing the knight to d8, and because now if bishop captures the f5 pawn, then pawn captures. If g6, then pawn captures and h7 and knight f7 guarding the h8 square, and it is not possible to win the game easily. But now white has another idea of getting his bishop to f6 square. So knight goes to h8 and tries some attack on the king, and white captures the a6 pawn. Now he gets his king backwards. So he has successfully captured a pawn without any compensation, and now he gets his king back. So now bishop goes to f6, and at this point knight goes to c7, and now you can try to determine the winning move for white. So you can pause the video in order to find out the winning move for white. Yeah. So the winning move for white is bishop takes g6. Now the pawn on the h6 is actually unstoppable, and he is not able to promote it. He's able to promote it easily if black doesn't do anything. Now if black captures the bishop, then bishop into d8, and king takes d8 and h7 h8, and there is no stopping this pawn. So at this point of bishop d8, Fischer resigned the game, and it was a wonderful endgame technique by Spassky, and he was able to convert this into victory. So yeah, so hope you like this video. Yeah, and if you like this video and are new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe. Thank you.